Our daughter was extremely excited to go on this trip. Not only had she heard from other people who had gone on it that really enjoyed going on it, but she just was really excited to get out and explore. She did lemonade stands leading up to it so that she could have her own spending money. My daughter and I went on a district-sponsored school trip to Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia. And the very first night of the trip in Philadelphia, I get this phone call from my daughter. I could tell she had a quiver in her voice, that she was uncomfortable. And she says, "Mom, my bedmate just informed me that they are a boy, and I don't know what to do." I was shocked. I was like, I couldn't believe that this possibly could happen.
When I initially got the call, I was frankly in disbelief. As I talked to my wife, she followed up and said, "Yeah, this is what's happening." So my daughter was about to climb into bed with this other child. I felt like we'd been lied to, and we've been lied to for months because the trip was planned for 18 months.
All the meetings that we had about the trip, they always said girls were going to be on one floor of the hotel and boys were going to be on another.
You get a mountain of paperwork to go on these trips. Nowhere in that paperwork was the transgender policy.
She got along really well with this other student, but then when you're put in a situation where you're sharing a very intimate space with them, it's not something that she was comfortable with, and it's not something we were comfortable with. The chaperone then tried to make accommodations as best as she saw fit, and initially asked our daughter if she would be comfortable being in a different bed, but in the same room. They came up with the idea that she had to move into the bed closer to the air conditioning because she was hot. And the other student now, who was going to be sharing the bed with our daughter, said to the transgender child, "Would you still like to sleep over here with our daughter?" At that point, now our daughter's put in another uncomfortable situation because she doesn't want to be mean, she doesn't want to be confrontational. She kind of looks up at me, and I'll never forget that look on her face. I can picture the room exactly, and just like, "Help me." She and I went back out into the hallway, and she said, "Mom, I can't do this. Like, this is not going to work."
As a father, it made me feel in a way helpless. You want to protect your child. You want to be able to be there. You want to go get her. And you can't do that when your child's 2,000 miles away.
No 11-year-old wants to be put in that situation, and no 11-year-old should ever be put in that situation.
We've asked the school district to let us have the right to opt out of the current transgender policy, and we also want them to be more transparent with the policy. The school district should be putting policies out there to protect all children, not some subset of those children. The policy needs to protect everybody.
This is something that adults are making the decisions on, but kids are suffering the repercussions of it. And every parent deserves the right to protect their children.